G'day mates, it's Frank here out in Australia. This is my good friend Tyson Coote.
Hey everyone.
We're just going to talk to you quick about urban farming and the things you can do in your own home. So Tyson, you've got a really advanced, sort of like a hydroponics system that you've built here. Can you tell us some about it?
Yeah, initially I just had your standard balcony and had plants. I am a horticulturalist and I was very interested in air purification, when you've got small spaces and everything like that. But eventually I started to understand about all the cost factors and how much time this is going to drag away from me being able to make money in my own job, which I love, and just really minimizing costs and the hours associated. And I finally came to the point where I'm like, I'm going to have to get tech savvy on this, and I realized I had most of the materials and I had most of I've definitely got all the knowledge and everything like that. I just had to make it interesting and fun. And so, when I did have some spare time in between work, you've always got, being a horticulturalist, you've always got, a week of rain or something that just sort of keeps you away from work. That was it. That's what sort of kicked me off.
So what is the system actually made out of there? What are you using to hold those plants up?
Well, it's all out of recycled materials and just a few things that I got from the local hardware store. It had to be quick and easy. So I had a client that had leftover guttering. This is your large guttering, which you'll find up in the tropics. So it's really handy because it's the strength of it and that it's made to hold a large volume of water, and it's durable. And being a product that's used on every house around here, you'll always find it secondhand, and people just want to give it away. And so in this instance, it was a client that got me up. I had my trailer completely open and ready to go, and he's like, oh great, thank you. So all it was a matter of doing is just buying the chain, buying these end caps, which were about $2 each, and I could make it to size.
Nice. And you've really utilized on your space here by doing vertical farming. You see the whole patio here, basically everywhere you can get plants has been utilized. And you're growing a climbing spinach, is what this is?
Yeah, this is Asian spinach, or Malabar climbing spinach. I was surprised I never really heard about it, but I happened to see it in the hardware store in the exotic vegetables and herbs sort of section. And I was curious, and when I looked on the back and saw, tropical, high producing, high yield, I was just like, perfect. But I couldn't believe that I hadn't heard of it before. But it's a staple diet for many people because it's so easy to grow over in Asia. So I just thought it'd be perfect for here, and I couldn't believe how well it did.
Yeah, I've been eating it with you, and it's really quite delicious, and it's very abundant. And the cool thing too is how easy it is to propagate. So the majority of these would have been from cuttings that you take, and then you get to root.
Take the thickest cuttings I can, and just placing them in water and replacing that water once a day. Just not letting the water go stagnant, and it doesn't need much sunlight, so just keeping it in the areas which don't get sunlight is the perfect propagation area. Which
is true of the leafy greens that we grow back in Vancouver as well. You can really fill in a lot of space in your gardens with kale or on your balconies and patio spaces. I haven't seen anything yet like the climbing spinach back home, but it could potentially grow where we're from as well if it doesn't need much sunlight. Just got to make sure it stays from getting off the frost that we deal with in the wintertime, and making sure it's well watered, which is where the irrigation system comes in, which is quite neat. If you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've got a very kind of easy for the homeowner type of irrigation. I've just gone and used your standard battery operated tap irrigation timer, which I happen to have got in the clearance aisle, so I got it even cheaper.
Nice.
But normally they're only about $20, and that's, when you look at it, that's half an hour of 1 hour's work. So I was very happy to pay that to have it automated. And people say, oh, it could be complicated and stuff. It's going to save you so much time. And there's nothing wrong with it. I have carbon filtration water that goes in through this. So it's got your standard filter, which comes in the kit with the irrigation timer. So that filters out the large particles of rust, which we get a lot of here when council opens up pipes. So you do need to understand that it will get get clogged and you will have to replace filters, but knowing that any water that comes through this is pure enough to drink with no fluoride. These filters are your everyday household filters, and although they may seem expensive to some, they're so easy to get. I'm already down at the hardware store, and to pay $40, which is only an hour's work, that is definitely worth it for me, and I get about 6 months out of the filter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what do you think, all in all, the system cost you to put together, just like cash money?
I was lucky to get a lot of the irrigation line left over from jobs, but to say if you were doing it from scratch and you weren't a horticulturalist with all these supplies, and well, of course, you wouldn't go new gutter. You'd always want to go second hand.
I think, yeah, a lot of stuff you could probably scavenge from around the world.
Scavenge.
Yeah, seagull styles.
I'd say you could do it easily under $100.
Nice.
Yeah.
With that less than $100 investment, you've completely eliminated the need to buy leafy greens in your weekly shopping, which, I mean, we could probably estimate at like $5 a week kind of thing,
Easily.
$10 a week.
Probably 10,
Yeah.
10 or more, because I eat quite healthy and I have that on everything. And when you're talking about, we also have moringa here. Like this is my favorite on a hamburger. It's so crunchy, and so I use it like a lettuce. And then we have the moringa, which is more softer.
Which is this plant here, which was from Africa originally?
I think so, yeah. It was popular there. That's what they're feeding a lot of the people over there, because it just grows so well.
And yeah, I've been downing on this stuff myself. I find it's all very, very delicious, and it's made for some great snacking while we're here. And at that price of $10 a week, you've got a system that'll pay itself off in 10 weeks. Yep. So in less than 2.5 months, about 2.5 months, you could have a free system that's saving you money and helping to decrease your carbon footprint by getting rid of those trucks driving around, bringing you things that you don't need, and helping to sustain your local ecosystem. So thank Tyson so much for running us through this, and I hope this will inspire some people back home to get their own systems going and start growing.
Yeah, give it a go.
All right. Peace.